Yes. What is up? Mixed Combat Radio family. We're back. We're back for another show. Actually hit live this time instead of us talking for 30 minutes and then realizing it didn't hit the play button. So we're here. We're live. You know, Tank versus Ryan Garcia. Reaction review. I'm right. Gary's wrong. I'm very excited for this show. It was a mega fight. It was a mega fight. So come on, don't do me a disservice here. We'll get to it, okay? So much to get to on today's show, but not really. You know, we have this fight, we have the Williams Sabetta card, and then that's pretty much it. Obviously, I'm Matthew Hunter. Find me right there below. Links down below in the description. I'm joined by the lovely Melody Joy from the Beauty of Boxing. How you doing? Fantastic. And the one and only Gary in Dallas and Texas boxing scene. Gary, how are you? Fight week where you're at?
Yeah. It's a little disappointed with no Verge or Marlene. I mean, we're making the best of it. Potentially Verge will be back July 8th, maybe in San Antonio, and Jamal Charlo back on July 1st. It looks like no opponent named yet. But I'm good. And look, we were all right about the fight, except Melody was most right. Melody nailed that.
Yeah, you got the exact round. To be fair, though, we all picked a round off.
There was we said 6, 7, 8, but
said it before me.
She hit the bullseye. We just got around the bullseye.
Very close.
We're playing horseshoes. Maybe we'd be.
I don't know how to point horseshoes. So.
I don't know really how the point system works in horseshoes. To be quite honest, I just know that saying.
Point off, basically.
Anyways, digressing. Gary, back to you.
Great fight. Oh my gosh, so much fun. Lame undercard like we thought.
I'll be honest, Gary in the group chat. You're not in the group chat.
I'm cool.
Yeah,
he's over here.
Yeah. It's the boys club. Gary was saying that it was underwhelming. I forget exactly how you put it, Gary. I mean, obviously we have a lot of different angles to tackle this fight, but if I remember correctly, you and Rob were saying that the fight itself wasn't as exciting as you thought it was going to be. I don't want to put words in your mouth, though, Gary.
Well, the fight was kind of what I expected it to be. It wasn't what it was built up to be. I didn't expect this to be, I thought it would be a decent fight in the ring. I thought once Ryan got dropped in the second round, he got a lot more hesitant. I thought there was basically two game plans for Ryan to win. Either sit back and, let Tank come to you and try to catch him, counter him, or be ultra aggressive and take the fight to Tank and try to get him before he catch you. And he looked like he was going to go the second round and be aggressive. And once he got tagged in the second round, in a fight he was doing well in up until that point, it seemed like he's like, ooh, I don't like that power. I'm gonna chill on that. And he never really seemed like he wasn't out of the fight, but he didn't seem to be fighting to win anymore. Is what I took from it. It seemed like that knockdown took a lot of steam out of him. The first knockdown.
I agree. I mean, obviously, we watched it together live. Not at the venue, but we watched it live. That knockdown did seem to, like Gary said, take all that steam out of Ryan Garcia's
I think
sales.
The only problem with this fight is, or if you could say underwhelming or whatever, was because Ryan didn't show up. Everybody thought a different Ryan was going to be in that ring. A lot of people. That
second round, Ryan, until the knockdown.
And then second round, then Ryan was like, no, it's actually not going to work, guys. He.
I mean, because honestly, the first shot that Tank landed, it put Ryan down. Like, that was legitimately the first shot that Tank really got clean shot on. The first round was tepid. No one really landed that much. Second round, Ryan came out super aggressive, was scoring pretty well. In the similar vein of what we talked about, like Leo Santa Cruz having success, or Rolly having success, or Isaac Cruz having success. Certain guys, when they brought it to Gervonta, he kind of struggled at times. We saw that in the second round. But then we saw what happened a little bit in the end of the Rolly fight, that counter shot by Tank. And then Ryan, like Gary said, I think he's right, Ryan was gun shy for the rest of the fight. There was a few moments where he got aggressive, but it was quickly taken away by Tank. Like, quickly Tank was either evading shots, so Ryan's offense was neglected, or Tank was landing shots and counters. And then that immediately set Ryan back. This was the most exciting one-sided fight we've seen in some time, if I can say it like that. Because even though there was rounds where Ryan wasn't the most aggressive, you can tell he was in survival mode, he still had power. And I think you can tell that even Tank respected the power enough of Ryan to not go in aggressively, go in recklessly with his offense. So even the rounds where it was a little bit slow after that, I was still engaged with the fight. I was still heavily interested. I was on my seat because I knew either Ryan's going to make a mistake here, throw a combination, and then Tank's going to land, or that combination Ryan's going to land, and then we get another momentum shift. Obviously, that didn't happen. But obviously, the fight did much better than we all expected it. I mean, for pay-per-view wise, business wise, I mean, we were talking on the last show about whether or not this is a mega fight, a super fight, comparing it to other ones. I think we all sort of agreed that it can do around 300,000 pay-per-view buys. I said it could probably get up to 600,000 pay-per-view buys on the top end. And it blew that out of the water. I mean, all reports are saying that it did 1.2 million pay-per-view buys. It's one of the highest box offices in Nevada history. Yeah. It's in the top five. You have number 5. I mean, it's behind Mayweather Pacquiao, Mayweather McGregor, and the 2 Canelo Triple G fights, if I remember the list correctly. And that's a good list to be around. Those are great fights and great names, except for the Mayweather McGregor.
Can Gervonta continue with that streak of pay-per-views?
I know Gary's probably going to say no. I think it depends, right? Like if we get a Devin Haney matchup, ooh, I think that does very well on pay-per-view. Yeah. Surprisingly well. Like it may not hit this exact number because this is a cross demographic fight in a way, because you get the Mexican boxing fans, you get the black boxing fans, and they combine for this, right? Haney and Tank, it's more the same demographic. Both are in hip hop culture heavily. They're both supported by the hip hop culture heavily as well. So it's a little bit of the same market, so to speak. Ryan was bringing the YouTubing audience as well. That's a different crowd. So I don't know if it does 1.2, but it does 600, 800,000 pay-per-view buys, in my opinion. If he was to fight Loma in a pay-per-view or Teofimo in a pay-per-view, I think those do very, very well. Mm-hmm. Other than those names, I think he's going to do back to the 200, 300,000 pay-per-view numbers. But maybe Gary has other thoughts on what Tank's mega stardom is now, because he was wrong.
So, I wasn't wrong. I said, okay, I was wrong, way wrong in what I said it was going to do. I said between 300 and 400, right? So I looked at Tank, and Tank was consistently 250. I think he got up to 300 once, and it was, depending on the opponent, and they had 100,000 people. Like, okay, so he's between 2 and 3. You put Ryan in, you go to 3 and 4. Like, it's kind of what I thought. And they did 1.2 million. Which tells me, and I know the PBC fanboys are going to hate this, that Ryan Garcia is a pay-per-view star. That's what that tells me. Right? We know what Tank does as a pay-per-view. We know what Tank does. We didn't know what Ryan Garcia does. Now Ryan Garcia did 1.2 million.
Yeah, this was
we just had 5 pay-per-views. If you add them all up, I don't think they did what this one did. If you add all this previous pay-per-views up, I don't think they reached 1.2, or I think they're saying it's closer to 1.3 now. Like, it doesn't add up. Ryan Garcia's done 1 pay-per-view, and it did 1.3, or 1.2 to 1.3.
Gary, I mean, first off, even like, let's say the pay-per-view megastars we always talk about, Mayweather, Canelo, right? Those two specifically. They've had a number of pay-per-views that have done 300, 400,000. A number. Canelo American, 480,000. Mayweather Andre Berto, 400,000. Pacquiao and Tim Bradley, all those fights were duds. I mean, all those fights did like 300,000.
The first one did good, and then after that, the first one hit 1 million, or right around it, 960,000.
That's true, right? You're right about that.
And then the second 2 bombed. The third was inexplicable. The second one bombed. Why'd you make a third one?
Pacquiao Thurman, that was only a 500,000 pay-per-view buy. There are a lot of stars that don't do 1 million numbers. Like 1 million consistently was like this weird era where I think boxing fans got stuck on, and they felt like that's That's the mark of who is the top. You have to hit 1 million back to back to back to back. Because Mayweather did that for like 5 fights in a row. Pacquiao did that for like 5 fights in a row. There was like that one stretch where they fought, the Hattons, the Cottos, and those all did very, very well. But that's not replicable in any other point in boxing history, that type of run, right? And even when we see those same guys in other eras of boxing pay-per-view, pay-per-view industry, they don't do those numbers. With certain opponents, they don't do those numbers. So I think if Ryan was to fight Luke Campbell on pay-per-view, for example, what would have that done? That's not going to do 1 million.
300,000. 300.
200,000, 300,000, especially since DAZN does less numbers. I forget the exact breakdown.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Because it was released, the breakdown on who got what, I want to say. Showtime and DAZN, who did more pay-per-view buys. And I want to say, again, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Showtime, let's say, did double the amount of pay-per-view buys than DAZN. DAZN's a much smaller, has a much smaller sort of market print, where like it's not as big in the market as Showtime and CBS. So I don't think this disproves that Tank is a star and that Ryan is a star. I think it proves that both are stars, and that when we see 2 stars together, we get big numbers. Because if you look at those other top 5 fights in Nevada history, those are all 2 stars together. Triple G, Canelo, 2 stars. Mayweather, Pacquiao, 2 mega stars. Mayweather, McGregor, 2 mega stars. So that's what I think is evidence of these numbers, or what is proving of these numbers. I think if, like you said, like we were talking about, like who Tank can fight next and do these types of numbers. Ryan's off a loss, so he's not facing any of those guys next. Does Golden Boy sort of roll the dice on him with the tune-up B-side as a pay-per-view on DAZN? Do you think that's something that Golden Boy does? Gary, Melody, open floor to either of you.
Go ahead,
Gary.
I think Ryan Garcia, and I hate this because I hate the pay-per-view model, right? I think it's ridiculous. But I think moving forward, at least for his next fight or 2, he's a pay-per-view star, regardless of who he fights. 1.2 or 1.3 or whatever we're going to say the final number is million pay-per-view buys. They're going to try it again, right? It's just because it's worth the risk, right? Like, you've already proven it. That fight was way bigger than I've ever expected. So I'm thinking, who does Ryan Garcia fight next? And I don't really know, right? Like, you look at the Golden Boy stable, there's not really anyone there. I don't know, right? We can go through names. Do they try another PBC fighter? Isaac Cruz, but he's going up to 140, I guess, so it's going to be a 140-pounder. Who do you want to put him in at 140? I think you're going to see Ryan on pay-per-views, and I think you're going to see Ryan hit a decent number, and by decent, I mean 300,000 plus. Again, yes, that fight with Tank, I agree. I was playing devil's advocate. I agree. If they weren't both stars then, they're both stars now, and they're both gonna be on the pay-per-view models moving forward, right? I said, call up your local sports show. Ask him who Tyson Fury is. Don't know who it is. Ask him who Canelo is. Don't know who it is. Ask him who Tank Davis is. They'll ask you what he does, right? I was probably wrong about that. Tank probably has more crossover casual appeal than I was giving him credit for, right? Maybe you're a casual sports fan who's watching the NBA playoffs tonight or watching the NFL draft and not watching tomorrow's fight. Maybe that person knows who Tank Davis is. And my assumption was they did not. I could be wrong. I was probably wrong about that. Tank's probably bigger.
I have a buddy who was an old college friend, right? Old frat buddy. His name's Jack. Shout out to Jack if you're listening. This segment's dedicated to you. And I can always gauge, like, really, like, oh, it's a fight, a crossover. If all of a sudden I just get a text on fight night, just a random text from him, no context, but I know it's about the fight. And the first text I got from him on Saturday night was, Ryan automatically is going to lose because he picked the puppy dying song as a walkout song.
Yeah, I remember.
And I laughed my ass off. And to that point, Gary, like the casual like sports fan, when they watch this on Saturday, because they definitely watched it, right? But these numbers we know they were watching, whether illegally or not, they were watching.
Imagine how many people watch it illegally. Because if Ryan and Tank, especially Ryan, have a young fan base, they ain't buying it. Right? They're not buying it. So that means 1.2 million just of old people, my age and older. Yeah. Right? And the young people, which is probably the target demographic, didn't buy it.
But they came away a Tank fan. 100%.
Yeah.
You know, there's no way you can come away with this fight not, I think, being a fan of honestly both fighters to a degree.
But even if you watch the, All Access, Tank comes off as a very like genuine, like nice guy. Like you want to like him. He doesn't come off like a hardened guy. He's like such a teddy bear, and the way he's constantly like he's really good, showing of him because he doesn't look like somebody you can't not like.
Yes, I mean
that's what I like about Tank.
Tank's obviously like extracurricular activities, so to speak.
Right. That's
which is an issue, and hopefully he gets help for that and get therapy. There's trauma there, obviously. But you're right. In videos and All Access, he does come across very likable.
Yeah.
And casual fans don't know about that extracurricular stuff.
That's what I was just.
They don't.
You were saying. One of my dad's friends messaged me on Facebook like 2 days before the fight. Remember? He's like, "Oh, who's the guys that are fighting this weekend?" He doesn't know nothing about boxing,
but he knows there's a fight.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't answer, of course, but then he's like, "Oh, I read your story. Never mind, I seen." But I was like, "That obviously, that's when you know." That it's getting to a different level.
It's getting outside the boxing bubble, so to speak. And I think this was a good fight for that to happen. I mean, it's two young guys. It's not like these guys aren't going to get better and have bigger fights down the line. If you're a casual fan, so to speak, and now you're interested in one of these guys going forward, you have a long career to watch now. Like, this was a good investment. And, I'm with Gary 100% on the pay-per-view model being a very anti-consumer, anti-fan model for the industry. We explained on like 2 shows ago why I think the pay-per-view model is where it's at and why I think it's here to stay, unfortunately. But regardless of where these guys are on, Showtime, DAZN, pay-per-view, like they're going to be pulling in numbers now. They are, and for lack of a better term, the next faces of boxing. Like, these numbers prove it. Like, Spence has never done these numbers. Thurman has never done these numbers. The Charlos never done these numbers. These are, in a weird way, the heir apparents to Mayweather and Oscar. And obviously it was played as that in the promotion.
That's what I knew.
It's you were very much right about that being...
That was going to be the take. The narration of the fight was going to be Floyd. And look, Floyd showed up, bro. Floyd didn't even have to come. Floyd showed up with a freaking $30,000 hat on. Like, he did not need to come out there and show out for Gervonta as much as he did. And he did. And so did Oscar. Oscar did Oscar fight week. You know what I mean? It was rough for us, but Oscar
he got death threats. Okay. He couldn't go to the post-fight press conference. He got death threats, people.
But he was very fashionable.
With the blue suit at the press conference.
All I can see in my head with no shirt under.
That was rough, man. That was a rough outfit. Yeah. That was definitely Holly Saunders' outfit, and he got like a stain on his. She had to quickly change outfits before the press conference.
The diamond's off.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's like, okay, leave.
But I think that, for the casual boxing fan or sports fan, like Mayweather Oscar was a massive fight. Like that had such cultural resonance, and this is a mirror image of that in a lot of ways. And I think the promoters and the network played that very well. And I think it worked. I mean, these guys are the future in a lot of ways. And I think that's going to be a tough pill to swallow, I think, for boxing fans, because it's not Spence, who I think has deservingly sort of, he should be getting these numbers, but he's not. We don't know why, for a lot of reasons. It's hard to tell why certain people aren't stars and why others are. Guys like Devin Haney, Shakur, they're more of the purists. Naoya Inoue, who's a megastar in Japan, he's never going to be a megastar in the U.S. That's just the unfortunate reality. The Charlo, David Benavidez, we start talking about the younger fighters. None of them are reaching these numbers. The only ones that have is Gervonta and Ryan, and then Wilder and Tyson Fury. Those are the only new age fighters post Mayweather Pacquiao that pulled in 1 million plus buys. It's weird to say because I don't know if these guys are going to always be undefeated. I don't know what their longevity is as actual like long reigning champions.
Yeah,
because they have some tough fighters in front of them. Like Tank or Ryan moving up to 140 that's scary. Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, like those are some tough names up there. Jose Ramirez, like there's a lot of guys up there that are very, very, very tough. So I don't. Teofimo Lopez is at 140. Like
Ooh.
Are we gonna talk about Tio being racist?
No,
we're not
that's
gonna talk
why
about
I said who. No.
What did Tio say? Well, let's circle back at it.
We're circle back to that. Just remind us. But Gary, I've been ranting for a while, so me and Melody. Any other thoughts on Tank, Ryan as stars, as the future of boxing, all that stuff?
I wanted to talk about who we think. Ryan's going to 140. That being said, who do we think each one of them fights next if they're going to continue to be pay-per-view fighters, which we all kind of think they are, right? Like it's easy. There's lots of names for Tank. Ryan, it's a bit tougher because who do you want to put him in with? There are some matchroom names, the zone names, Richardson, Hitchinsons. I don't think you want to do that, right? There are big names which he would make, right? Regis Prograis fight would be a hot fight. Teofimo Lopez would be a hot fight, assuming he wins. You want to make those fights?
I'm talking about Ryan, correct?
Ryan, yeah. You want to put him in the ring with?
No.
Okay. Would you want to put him in with Richardson, Hitchens?
No, none of those guys.
So, how far down do you want to go down the totem pole if you still want this to be a pay-per-view fight? The guy that beat Montana Love, Steve Spark, you want to try that? That's not going to sell. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will because it's Ryan. But, like,
dude, don't hate on Australian boxing, bro.
I'm not hating on it. I was just saying, do you think fans are going to buy a Ryan Garcia versus Steve Spark fight?
No.
How far down? Okay, give me a name of a makeable fight that you think.
Where the reality is, I'm worried about like promotional sides because like Top Rank and PBC have a lot of the 140 pounders, right? Gary, like it's not Golden Boy doesn't have a lot of 140 pounders, so
right
guys that are true B-sides, tune-ups, but are high enough in the rankings that he could fight are still like cross promotional fights, like a Sandor Martin, like that's a guy that's not in. I think it's Top Rank. If I had
Comey, does that still have appeal?
I mean, I would take that. That's a fine tune-up. But it's again,
I don't think you want to test Ryan's chin with that. Honestly, I don't think you want to put him in. He should win that fight. He should beat Comey. But is that really a risk you want to take with Ryan's questionable chin?
Jose Pedraza, you get Pedraza, who's slow and old, But like Garcia, Pedraza, pay-per-view, DAZN.
No.
Ooh,
those are not.
That does 100,000 pay-per-view buys.
No.
Right, like Gary, like we have DAZN and we're streaming that.
What if you did Rashad Matty at Madison Square Garden?
No.
I'm thinking of a fight he can win. That's not going to be too big of a test. That can still sell.
It sucks that you can't just put him as like the co-main to Canelo fight anymore. Go rush on that one. God. I mean, there's really no one. I mean, everyone's going to be tough. Like, the top 20 is tough. Like, even like Lindolfo Delgado or...
Who's he with? I was thinking about that name. He used to be signed with PBC, but he's not. He's just the Samson guy, right?
He's with Robert Garcia. I don't know.
I don't think he's got a network. I think he's just
Richard Schaefer.
Richard Schaefer got. Oh, you can make. Oh, do they get along anymore, Schaefer and Oscar?
I doubt it. I definitely doubt that one. Especially with what was it, Leonard Ellaby talking shit to Oscar at the pre-fight press conference. Yes. Yeah, I think that wound is still there. There's still animosity.
Salts always.
That was weird. That was so odd. I don't know, because like Sabral Matias, Arnold Barboza, like those are still tough names and cross promotional fights.
Barboza could work. You're not putting him with Matias. That's a disaster waiting to happen. You're not doing that.
Like, Sergey Lepinets, is he faded enough to where like that's a winnable fight for Ryan?
I don't know. He looked real. Ryan should win these fights. Lipinets looked like the Lipinets of old against my boy. He really did. He looked good. And maybe that was just because Omar was completely faded and shot. But Lipinets looked real good in that fight on short notice.
Right. Yeah, that's right. I think that's a little bit of him just facing Omar Figueroa for him looking good. If I have to be honest, I feel like it might be that. I don't think Ryan would be getting beat up like Omar did in that fight because Ryan's a young, big, strong, fast guy, and Ryan has skills. Like, that's the sad part. Like, I do wonder about the chin because, Luke Campbell put him down, and Luke Campbell shouldn't be putting you down if you're really like the top dog, right? And then obviously Tank really like scared him with his power. Like, obviously, he put him down twice, finished him with the body shot. We know that. But you can see it in the fight that Ryan was really hesitant to engage, really hesitant for those counters. And the second he got dropped, all the feints from Tank were working. Mm-hmm. Ryan was biting on every feint because he was scared about every shot coming. So he does sort of need a really soft tune-up, I think, to get the confidence back. And like I said, I do wonder about the chin because if he has a weak chin, a lot of these guys have pop. Even a guy like Arnold Barboza has surprising pop. Where if Ryan doesn't have a chin, and that's a Amir Khan weak point. I was
just gonna say, sizing him up to Amir Khan, who has a horrible chin, but he has good boxing skills. And in the very beginning, when he was so very light on his feet and all over the place, he was a good fighter.
Yes,
he just had a terrible chin,
and he was fighting guys that really couldn't test him on that.
And so what is Ryan going to do?
I don't know. Steve Spark. I mean, that might be it.
Australia.
That might be the fight. Just go down to Australia, have a mega fight down there of like 40,000 people and sell like $300,000 worth of tickets. Do the Jose Ramirez, and you just have a good time. Right back in it. You're good to go. Gary, I think your next question was going to be like, what's next for Tank? If I had to pick one fight for him. Right, because you said what's one fight for Ryan?
Tank, yeah.
If I had to pick Sandor Martin, let's go, my Spanish brethren.
For Tank?
No, for Ryan. For Tank, I want the Haney fight. I think Haney is going to beat Loma, and then Haney is a free agent, and I think Haney will have the confidence to go straight to a Tank fight. I think that 100%. If he beats Loma,
this year or next year.
This year, end of this year.
Like December. Like
October, November, December, fall of this year, we get Tank Haney pay-per-view.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I think that does mega numbers. And if you're a Haney, you see what Tank and Ryan just pulled.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you did half the numbers, you're good. Mm-hmm. Like, it's going to be a big fight for your career. And Haney is technically the better boxer than Tank. Right? I mean, from a pure, like, fundamentals perspective. But that's a fun fight. I would love that one next. And I think if you're a Tank, you don't really need that much of a tune-up right now. You didn't take much damage in this fight. It was 6 rounds or so. You knocked him out. Huge paycheck. You can wait 6 months and then fight end of the year. Melody, what do you think?
He could do that.
Mm-hmm.
He probably will because he probably needs a break after this little win, Tank. But I think it'll be good for him to take a little bit of break, 6 months, whatever, and come back.
The only other fight he does.
I don't see Tank needing a tune-up. Obviously, it'd be the easy route though. Like, what if they do another Rolly fight?
No, I think
Tank and Rolly. I
don't want that at all.
No, I don't want it either. Like,
I want the Isaac Cruz rematch if we don't get Haney.
Okay.
Even though that's not like the bigger fight, like that's the fight that Tank had the most issues in probably. Mm-hmm. And I like Pitbull Cruz. He's cool. He's a small little dude. I like him. Do that fight. And plus now Tank, he can go up to 142.
Yeah.
I know he hasn't talked about that, or at least I don't know if he's talked about that.
Does he need to be that big? He doesn't look.
He can.
Yeah, but he at his little, that's not short. He's very short, I think if he keeps adding weight, he might turn out like Mikey Garcia and have trees.
Oh, that's true. That's a possibility.
and it might be a little bit sludgy, and I don't know if
The Mikey Garcia fatness.
Yeah,
You're
that
absolutely right about
scares
that.
me, a lot of fighters going up.
I will say though, in my brain, I want Teofimo Lopez to beat Josh Taylor in the Battle of the Racists, and then Tank move up and fight Teo. So Teo gets beat up by a black fighter. That'd be funny.
That'd be good.
I would appreciate
Teo got
that.
knocked out by Tank like a sleeper, like a Manny Pacquiao.
That'd be great.
Tank would sleep Teo.
Yeah.
I don't care at what weight. Tank would sleep Teo. So if you were making it, you would okay. Matt, if you were making it, if you predicting it, not making it, predicting it, you would say Ryan versus Sandra Martin.
Sure, yeah, or somebody to that effect.
I'm gonna say either JoJo or Hesta. They're gonna move them up.
JoJo was a good one too. I thought.
Also.
Well, they fought at 140, right? JoJo and Hesta actually fought at 140, right? I think so.
Yes.
Your last fight, yeah.
Yes.
So they'll do one of those guys, I think. And what do you say, Melody?
Yes, I'm sure that they'll probably get that. I didn't remember about Gesta winning just recently again. JoJo.
They probably did JoJo though.
They're both.
Yeah.
Ryan would beat both of them easy. But I mean, I would like Gesta to get the paycheck other than JoJo Diaz.
I'm just thinking about pay-per-views, and I know how Golden Boy thinks, and they probably think JoJo is the better B side, and he's coming off a loss, so he's an easier opponent for Ryan.
And if Ryan can stop him, Haney didn't, so you can try to build that narrative.
There you go. Yeah.
And plus, if you're a Golden Boy, I mean, JoJo's a little bit of a
wild card. Didn't JoJo off of Golden Boy though? Didn't he say like this was his last one with Golden Boy? And then Golden Boy was like, "Well, his contract ends very soon." But
I did not see that. I don't doubt it, but
yeah, that happened. So I don't know when he gets out, like the date, but he was saying this is my last fight with Golden Boy.
With JoJo's alleged spending habits and extracurricular activities,
he needs the money.
He needs the money. So if they offer him the Ryan pay-per-view fight, he's gonna take it in a heartbeat.
But so would Gesta because Gesta has been fighting for so long. I mean, he's like my age.
Gesta deserves it. JoJo.
I love Gesta.
JoJo's more likely to get it.
Yeah. But I guess I'd be okay with either one. I'd watch.
Yeah, not for pay-per-view. I would allegedly stream that one.
It. Yes, that's my thoughts.
Gary, back to you.
Then for Tank, I think you're gonna get Rolly Ramirez too.
I hate that.
I don't mind it because if he knocks him out again, I'd be so happy. That'll be so hilarious. Like if Rolly thinks like he's gonna come back, I know Rolly's gonna do that. Rolly's gonna play this up so badly, like I'm gonna knock him out, like Rolly, we know that's not happening, so we get another knockout. It'd be funny. Rolly
is a fighter that has done nothing, but for some reason just keeps getting opportunities.
Yeah,
it's wild. I don't know who he knows,
Rolly.
how much money he has, what blackmail he has on people.
I don't know.
But he shouldn't be getting opportunities that he's getting because he's not good and he hasn't beaten anyone, in my opinion.
No.
Except for Jackson Morenes, right? Like, whoa.
And he was lucky to get that. Yeah,
exactly. Like
that was the one where they gifted him.
Yeah. That one. Anyways, Gary, any other thoughts on Ryan Tank, or you want to talk about Teofimo Lopez being racist?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this. What did old Teo say?
I don't have the videos up, obviously, but you can find them. Both Teo and his dad have made numerous comments in multiple interviews now about how Top Rank only favors black fighters. And
that's an interesting plot twist.
Everyone boxing.
Like, what? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. Like
it was bad though.
He didn't have to do these 2 interviews at all. No.
And I'll say this. I mean, the way I'm saying it, I feel like it's sugarcoating
very much
how it came off.
He was so angry. He said it's his last fight on ESPN.
His last fight, Top Rank.
I saw that. Yeah.
And the reason was
because Bob Arum and Top Rank are favoring black fighters, and they're giving black fighters the only opportunities.
So it's Devin Haney and Shakur that he's mad at.
Yes.
Why?
I'll be
Like, why does he even have the opportunities that he has? Like you said, like,
I'll be honest. Like Tio to me screams like early onset CTE. Like he went loco really fast, in my opinion.
yeah.
Where like he was just doing like stupid Fortnite dances and kind of being that type of character, and all of a sudden like him and his wife are having like abuse and marital issues. He's saying crazy shit in interviews.
Not getting custody of his daughter.
He's having like manic episodes, it seems, during fight week. You know, like honestly, Gary, like.
But did you see that with his last fight? He was asking his wife to give him his baby, and the wife was not handing over that baby. Yeah, you ain't touching this baby.
He got so mad.
He asked for it like 3 times, and then no, you ain't holding our daughter. It was a daughter. It was a little girl, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's wild. It's wild. And then his dad tried to. I guess his dad did the follow-up interview, trying to basically like say, well, he's just mad because literally just reiterate what he did, what his fucking son said.
He just did the whole like, you know, we just said the truth and people don't like the truth, you know. You know, people don't like it, but like it's the truth, you know. Top Rank favors the blacks, and it's like, whoa,
again, bro, no,
you can't say that. It was wild,
ridiculous, man.
I think they're on Fight. No, it's not Fight Hype. It's I don't know, but you can find these videos.
Oh, they're
easily.
everywhere now.
Yeah,
they're everywhere. You just put in T.O. and it comes up.
It's bad. It's concerning, honestly.
Sad.
When you talk,
somebody had told me though, like before his last fight, a friend of his had told me like he was kind of being weird, like things were kind of going off, and he wasn't sure like if if he was all right, like really mentally all right.
And we've seen enough like contact sports athletes get CTE. And bad things happen. Either they commit violence onto themselves or onto others as well. And it's concerning, you know, and I know we're in boxing, so like there's no safety net for him. There's no one being like, hey, let's make sure Tio's okay. Let's make sure he gets the help he needs. Top Rank's not doing that. ESPN's not doing that. We know that.
Top Rank's not doing anything for him right now. They're busy with
Shakur Stevenson,
and Devin Haney,
which is hilarious to think about.
They're off literally in their own world. Like Devin Haney's in his own promotion, doing his own thing. Shakur's over here living life with his girlfriend and not happy, you know,
and not really been pushed as much as he should have been. Like, because that's the actual reputation of Top Rank is that they don't promote black fighters as much as they should. Terrence Crawford, I
was gonna say Terrence Crawford. Like, hello,
all of Terrence Crawford's career. Tim Bradley.
Like, God, Tim Bradley. They have Tim Bradley as in-house and also Andre Ward. That's the worst combination.
The funny thing is that Andre Ward wasn't Top Rank fighter.
No, he wasn't.
He manages like all of Top Rank stable. Like it's him and Jay Prince. They manage everyone.
Check every time.
But Gary, yes, definitely go check out those videos. Because it's
crazy.
Again, manic episodes. Like if you've ever had anyone in your life that, you know, has bipolar disorder or any other sort of mental health issues that are serious and they should get help for, and they're not getting help for it, it screams like that with Tio. Like it just brings back my memories of relatives and such having episodes. Again, somebody should get him help. I don't think his family's going to do it because his dad, I think, is even more.
Well, I think they're like religious and they don't believe in like.
They don't believe like basic medicine, like they don't give their kids Advil, like that type of religious.
Kinda, or don't go to the doctors, or don't go to therapy. That's way crazy. You go to your like.
Therapy is important. Therapy is important.
I know, but like
mental health people. We even put a link down now in the description for, you know, suicide awareness. You know, so check it out if you ever need help, ever need someone to talk to us right here.
We talk a lot to ourselves, to each other.
To ourselves.
We have literally podcasts of us talking alone.
Anyways, any other thoughts, guys, on Tank Ryan before we head off of this topic?
No. Oh, we're gonna go to the next card, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Talk about the card that Gary is excited for because he's there. Fight week.
Are you going to the fight?
Yeah. I wouldn't miss it for the world. It's Williams Zepeda versus Jamie. I'm gonna get it right this time. Arboleda? Is that how you? Is that?
Arboleda? Yeah.
I can't see it. My glasses are.
Melody, I don't want to assume anything. Do you speak Spanish at least pretty fluently? No. Okay.
She's good with pronunciation. Like if you read Spanish, you're pretty good about like I know how that is pronounced.
Mm-hmm. I only know him because remember Dulay fought him?
Yeah,
he
that's
knocked
true.
him out.
Yeah,
like 4 or 5 years ago. One of our Filipino fighters knocked out Jamie when he first got here from the Philippines.
We also have the great Diego De La Hoya on the card.
Diego De La Hoya is back.
That's good. We can say that this card's not great. I'm telling you, in the ring, put the names aside. Just in the ring, look, it's a fun card. That Diego De La Hoya Victor Morales fight is a 50-50 fight with implications. Like the loser becomes irrelevant. Like it's a good fight in the ring. It's just not the best names.
You got Sweet Tea on the card.
That's my boy. And he's fighting a kid from Fort Worth named Jonathan Rice.
Yep. I like him. He's fun. I mean, he's coming back, right? He's got a loss.
He got a loss where he dislocated his shoulder, but he's fought one since then. He got a first round knockout. He's a heavyweight now. He's fighting that heavyweight.
He's a big dude.
A big dude.
I'm not surprised about that.
Even though like everybody next to Gary looks so small, like your picture with Zepeda, like Zepeda's like 4 inches taller than me. Imagine next to Gary.
I'm 5'11". Like I'm not like 6'4" or anything. I'm only 5'11".
Next to him.
Gary's like 6'1".
He looks so big.
With shoes on, Gary's 6'1".
I swear I'm not tall.
Well, I'm like 5 foot, so I mean, I'm short next to
you are
everybody.
short. You are very short.
And I'm sure next to Sweet Tea, I look like a moron.
Yes.
Like belly button, waist. No. But I'm happy. I mean,
it's gonna be a fun fight night.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. You know, it's not gonna be a star-studded fight night for fight week, so to speak. But we got that last week.
Yeah.
You know, it's good.
It's like a cool down.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. And look, Zepeda's always a fun fighter to watch.
Yeah.
He has quickly become like one of my must-watch fighters.
One of my favorite fighters to watch.
You know, I hope he gets a big opportunity soon. If Ryan had won,
he got a necklace from Oscar, a diamond golden boy necklace. You didn't see?
Like the Rock Nation chain.
Yeah. He got it from Oscar. Did you see?
Yeah, I did. And the interview I did with him, you can get at Texas Boxing Z, which apparently no one wants to watch. Apparently, he's wearing it. So that is fresh off him getting that necklace. If you want to see the necklace that Melody is referring to, go to Texas Boxing Z and pull up my interview with Zepeda.
Yes, definitely do that. And when I upload this on YouTube tonight, I'll make sure to put Texas Boxing actually in the description this time.
Yeah.
And I put the link there. I think that's about it, right? I mean, there's not much else to talk about, right?
For boxing, no.
For boxing, we can make it a little short show, you know.
Yeah.
I know we came late this week.
This is a cool down because last week, my God, I was strung.
Yeah, but don't worry, people. We'll be back early next week. You know, maybe like a Tuesday show, something like that. So it's
next week.
I don't know. Oh, Canelo.
Oh, yes, it's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, so we're doing.
Yay, my daughter will be with me.
Yes, we're doing a Tuesday show, so expect that to come out either the same day on Tuesday or the next day on Wednesday. Obviously, if you're watching this for free on YouTube or whatever platform on Beauty of Boxing, Texas Boxing Scene, Mixed Combat Radio, Train Now Network.
Not Patreon.
Patreon.
I said Patreon, and I put it in my story. Patron. I'm sorry, I was thinking about alcohol. Clearly.
And obviously, if you want to watch this live, you know, patreon.com/Trending Now Network. I just put out an article earlier this week on Monday on Mount Tai Press on California's history with fascism. It did very well. I got word back from the editors that it was the most viewed article for some time. So very happy about that. I was interviewed on the Dan Simpson show on Twitch, and it's now on YouTube as well about that article. So go check that out. We didn't do any articles on the Beauty of Boxing for Ryan Tank. I was kind of waiting for inspiration, and the pay-per-view buys are that inspiration. So expect an article to come out this weekend about sort of the business side of the sport. I'm going to compare and contrast his numbers, Tank especially. You know, like Gary said, you know, he has like 5 pay-per-views now. Let's analyze what he has done compared to other pay-per-view stars. that should be a fun article to do. But
maybe we can get a little follow up also of this weekend since Gary's there.
yes,
So we can put it up on the website too.
yeah, I would love an article from Gary,
Cool, Gare Bear.
a Fight Night Experience blog.
We can do that. It's no Verge, no Marlene. It's not the greatest card name wise, but the fights themselves, Williams and Pettit can't help but be a fun fight. And the co-main could be a fun fight.
I'm excited. Even though it's a small fight night, like Gary says, sometimes they turn out to be a lot of fun. When you're just kicking back, watching at home, having some drinks. Good time. Very good time. You can find me, Matt Hunter, M-Star, on all social media platforms. Links below in the description for all of our stuff. Melody, where can people find you?
Media Boxing on
Social media.
yeah, pretty much. And that's it. Oh, and the website, mediaboxing.com.
Gary, final thought?
Find me all forms of social media, 3D Boxing, 3D Boxing Blog. Also, Texas Boxing Scene on YouTube and TexasBoxingScene.com. So check me out there. Check out my interview with Williams and Pettit so I get some views. Apparently, no one wants to watch the interview. I got a translator, my boy Noe G, the photographer. He does a great job. It's good. And Pettit is a nice guy and an interesting guy. So check out that. That's it. From Texas to the world, thank you, and God bless.
And remember, okay, Texas is going to be a country again, Gary.
Make Texas a country again.
Make Texas a country again. And make a country again. That was a lot. I was trying to do like a MAGA thing there and make it.
It doesn't work. But there are T-shirts now that say "Make Texas a Country Again." Oh. I kind of want to take credit for it, but I didn't patent it.
Gary, it's
on that one. Sorry.
You got you gotta cop yourself though a sweatshirt, or a T-shirt. You gotta get one that says it.
But now I'm paying for something I came up with. I mean, it's a little bit insulting.
Can you imagine somebody making the boxing merch and then I buy it to wear? Nah.
Yes, I understand. Everyone,
it's like LeBron James tried to patent Taco Tuesday. Bro, you think you came up with Taco Tuesday? E for effort. Great job trying. But do you think you came up with Taco Tuesday? Can I have Pizza Friday?
Like Thirsty Thursdays, all right? That's ridiculous.
Thirsty Thursday, you think you came up with that?
Get it. Taco Tuesday's taken. Thirsty Thursday, you might pass.
That is crazy. LeBron James had a trademark.
That's
Taco
ridiculous.
Tuesday. They're like a common saying. Anyways,
I can have a drinking name for any day of the week.
I'm not surprised. Have a great day, great evening, great night, wherever you're listening. Peace.